Greetings, ladies and gentlemen. I took a little break, spent some time with Cuddles, maybe played a little too much Baldur's Gate 3, but that means I missed out on a lot of chunk of WoW news. Now, rather than drop a video for each one, making it out of date before it even goes live, I thought, let's just wrap it all up in a big bow, get it out the way, so we can get back to focusing on the interesting stuff that's coming up. And with that rambling introduction out of the way, let's get into it. Now first up, we have Blizzard dropping the ban hammer on over 116,000 exploiter accounts over in Classic WoW. Now, granted, I am a retail baby, but everything I hear is that Classic is dead. The great new hope being that Hardcore Classic is going to come on the 24th, which is just 1 week away, and rekindle the whole oh my god, it's Classic vibe. But if that's the case, if Classic is truly dead, then who the hell is over there playing? Like, is it Jeff Bezos? Is it Elon Musk? The only real person playing Classic that's able to afford to support all of these exploiters. But I will say, fair play. Fair play to Blizzard for going over and actually banning some people and doing some house cleaning. Fair play. Maybe, just maybe, it'd be nice if you could get that same team to come over and look at retail. Yeah, that would be great. Thanks. 10.1.7 news is up next. First, classes. Now, I'm really not an expert on such things, so I'm not going to sit here and tell you if something's going to be meta or not, because there are far more intelligent and wiser people than me. I'm part of a couple of Discord servers that deal with breaking down class changes, working out if a class is going to be meta, working out the science behind it. And I read those posts, and then I close it down and say, well, I'm going to wait for someone to translate that into English for me. But as someone that has played far too many hours in WoW, I'm still going to sit here and say how I personally am going to look at these changes and how I think whether they're good, bad, for someone that just casually plays. So yes, basically another person in WoW talking about stuff they really have no knowledge of. Come on, it's not like there's a shortage of that, let's be honest. So first we have Resto Druid, which is my heal of choice should I decide to heal, which is very rarely, if ever. I really haven't done it since Legion. Unless LFR counts. Which it doesn't. So no, I don't really heal very often. But on the plus side, Trents are back, baby! Yes! I am that guy that runs around as a Trent if, which with Assassin I don't do very often, I'm healing on my Druid. I've always loved the thematic aspect of Druids. And it always seemed a shame that you couldn't have little healing Trent army running around as Resto. Well, now, with Grove Guardians, you can have just that. The nice thing is it also seems to be a decent talent as well. It sits in sort of the mid-tier area for Druids, which is really, since the introduction of these new talent trees, been a really weak area for Druids. So, yay, fingers crossed, thumbs up for that. I don't know how you're going to do that, but good luck. On top of that, it's actually doing decent healing from people that can actually heal on a Druid, so I trust them. Also, we have Master Shapeshifter, which looks really cool. I'm expecting some interesting play to come from this. Again, from players that can actually play the Druid. Even if it's something that I doubt personally I'll ever be able to get the most from. I love the idea of being able to go into cat form, convoke, and just getting a ton of mana back. All in all, it looks decent. Still strong in raid, and fingers crossed, better now in M+. Are we going to see some diversity in M+, maybe? Overall, 2 thumbs up. I have no idea what the scaling, what the point system is, so kind of 2 thumbs up means nothing. But there you go. We're sticking with it. It's there now. Monk is up next. And whereas the Druid is my go-to when I'm not healing, the Monk is Cuddles' fave healer. For me personally, I will say the Mistweaver has felt, and I think Cuddles would agree with this, a spec that's adrift. It really has no direction. I don't know what Blizzard's mindset, what their vision is for the Monk. They can't seem to decide whether they want some sort of kung fu melee healer, think of a disc priest but punching people in the face, or they want a more traditional standoff healer. They seem to have this worked out for the paladin, but the monk, it just never really feels at home in either. I have no idea if these changes will actually fix that feeling for monk, but it does look like at least Blizz are addressing some of the flaws to monk. The biggest change by far is to manatee. And rather than being a sort of fire and forget spell in essence, it works much more like the older versions, enabling you to gain much longer windows of mana reduction, which is really good news. Fingers crossed, like the druid, this should make them more desirable in M+.
Are you serious?
But time will tell. And I will say, obviously, this is all still ongoing on PTR. There's going to be balancing tweaks. So, fingers crossed there's still things that they can do to improve this. If numbers are one thing, they can tweak and balance those as they want. But it's the actual playstyle. How fun, enjoyable, and engaging is this playstyle going to be? That's what I care about, personally. But that is enough of me pretending to know what the hell I'm talking about when it comes to classes. Well, now let's get into a new feature that's coming, and that is pings. Pings. Yeah, this apparently is a great new way of giving information to others in your group without actually having to talk to them. Because, dear God, why, when I'm doing team-based content in a massively multiplayer online game, would I ever want to talk to people around me and make friends?
What did you say?
Anyway, joking aside, kind of joking. This is a new system that will enable players to put down different markers to express different information to the group, such as move here, attack this, careful now, and so on. It's a system that we've seen in a ton of different games. Even Baldur's Gate has a very rudimentary ping system. Yes, I have an addiction to Baldur's Gate at the moment. Let's just get over it. I can see this being really helpful in things like PvP battlegrounds, where you want to coordinate a lot of people, tell them kind of what you're planning on doing. And I guess pug raids as well, and yes, M+, but then maybe just jump in Discord and talk. I'm sorry, I did it again. Let's just move on.
Stop it. Get some help.
So last up, heritage armors are coming. This time the Forsaken and the Night Elves. One lost a queen, the other lost a tree, so how are the heritage questlines going to deal with that? Because, if you think about it, out of all of the races in WoW, these two in recent times have had the most to deal with. Maybe the Zandalari trolls are up there with them as well. But out of the old school races, the loss of Sylvanas and the burning down of the elves' home, these are huge story points. So what are we going to have? Is this going to be a reflection of the past, looking back at how they got to where they are now? Or is this going to be a hopeful look to the future? I would say out of the two, the Forsaken have the brightest future. I mean, if you kind of ignore the fact that they're dying out and can't rekindle their numbers. But they at least have a new hope in Celia Menethil. The Night Owls have lost their home. They have lost Malfurion. Illidan is off playing Space Jailer. And for the first time in 10,000 plus years, Tyrande is alone leading a broken people. That is a huge moment in their history to drop a heritage questline. So I am definitely gripped to see how that's going to pan out. I hope it's a really good, engaging story rather than just a we're all happy now and together and we're at peace and yay. No, give Tyrande the storyline she actually deserves. She's a great character. As for the armor appearances, the Forsaken remind me a lot of the BFA set that we could get. I love the little coffin shield lid thing on the back. Looks great, but I'm not going to lie, I kind of prefer the slightly darker, more spiky BFA version. Along with this armor, there is also, I want to say, 5 new Forsaken skin colors. So, there you go. The Night Elves armor set looks, well, it looks like a less flashy version of the Nightborn armor. Yeah, don't get me wrong, I like the Nightborn armor. It looks really, really cool. But of all the things they could have done, I would love to have seen like a Wrath of the Druid style look. Now granted, I know not all Night Elves are Druids, I get that. But what I'm thinking is like a more like return to nature vibe. Like the woods have come alive and they're taking revenge on those that wronged them. Give them lots of like wood and leaf motifs. But that said, I will say, the actual look of this set is very in keeping with how World of Warcraft has always portrayed the Night Elves. It is their look. So in terms of that, yeah, it's spot on. On top of gaining their new heritage armor, the Night Elves also gain access to some new face and body tattoos. And that about wraps up our little catch up. We are done. Now we can crack on with finally completing our Naxxramas guide and gaining our mount. Looking forward to maybe the opening of Old Scarlet Monastery. That's what I am really excited for. And of course, getting back into some general WoW, Warhammer, and maybe a little splash of Baldur's Gate shenanigans. So until then, thank you for watching. Subscribe for more of these ramblings. Stay safe, and I'll catch you all in the next video. Ladies, everyone.